to In The Huddle with Bill Scott and Green Bay offensive lineman TJ Lang.
And we are back here at the fifth quarter in Little Chute. Time now for our Granite Peak ski area email segment. Granite Peak ski area in Wausau, the tallest and largest ski area in Wisconsin with 700 vertical feet and 74 runs. Granite Peak offers terrain for all levels of skiers, along with 6 terrain parks and tree skiing glades. Right now, you can save big money on season passes and multiple day lift tickets by visiting skigranitepeak.com. Great specials on now through September 30th at skigranitepeak.com.
All right, we'll go right to it. Actually, we'll start with a question from our Twitter page. If you want to follow In The Huddle Show on Twitter, In The Huddle Show, that's how you can do that. Follow that after your twitter.com. This one's coming from, I don't know how to pronounce it, J-R-E-H-O-R. That's his Twitter handle. This one's for you, John. Describe the journey from a small school like Shippensburg to Green Bay, a city with all the NFL tradition that is here.
Oh, I'll tell you, it was, it's a memorable journey. It's pretty cool how, come undrafted free agent, go to Pittsburgh and struggle for a couple years trying to make a team and just make a name for yourself coming out of a small school. You definitely have a little bit of a prejudice trying to overcome. And then you have a team in Green Bay that believes in you and sees you over on another team, scoop you up and bring you in there and try and make you into the player that you are today.
Did you have any interest from Green Bay? I mean, the undrafted free agency side of things, you always bring guys in, but did you see any interest before you went to Pittsburgh?
A little bit, yeah. I talked with Green Bay a little bit, but not as much. After my first year in Pittsburgh, they contacted me, and they actually wanted me to come up here and be on the practice squad, but I was on Pittsburgh's practice squad at the time, so I just stayed there.
All right, we'll get to our next question here. It's from Tara in Kaukauna. She wants to know a little bit more about your fantasy football league. Who are some of the players on your rosters, and what strategies do you have going into a weekend?
I got Peyton Manning on my team, who I think he was my first pick. But I mean, fantasy, it's a lot more than people think. You gotta see who that team's playing that week, and obviously, if they have a good defense, you might want to play a different running back, but you gotta see if your guy's got a bye week, you gotta find someone else to fill in his shoes. So it's actually really fun. I mean, it gives you a chance to follow players and it gives you a sense of kind of entitlement. You're playing these guys and you see at the end of the day how they did. So I've had a great time with it so far.
When is your roster deadline?
I think just right before the game. I mean, the first game on Sunday, or if there's a Thursday night game, I think you got to have the roster set before that. So you can't be changing players halfway through the game.
So here you are. You're rolling right up until your own kickoff, and all of a sudden you realize somebody got scratched. You're kind of.
Yeah, I mean, you got to have,
aren't you?
You got to have an idea.
I mean, you don't want to see Coach McCarthy having you go to your phone trying to make a player change.
No, I don't think we take it that seriously. I don't think we take it that seriously. But like I said, it's more for us. It's more for razzing purposes, for a little bit of messing around,
bragging rights.
Yeah.
And you guys do a little bit of that, don't you, in the locker room?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. Practical jokes. The linemen are notorious for them.
So you guys don't go up to Ted and say, hey, I won my fantasy game. Maybe we should do something like this.
No.
All right, we'll get to our next question here. Actually, 2 people coming in with this question. We have Paul and Lynn asking, does TJ stand for anything?
Thomas John. I'm a junior, too, so.
Thomas John Jr.?
Yeah.
Wow.
My dad's Tom, and I'm TJ, so.
All right, we'll get to our next question from Christy in Kaukauna. Mr. Kuhn, which do you enjoy more, converting a 4th and 1 on a run or having the crowd chant Kuhn?
Well, I'd have to say converting the 4th and 1, because when I do, the crowd will go Kuhn.
So did you know they were chanting Kuhn right away the first time you heard it, or did you think might be some boos going on?
I kind of caught on to it. I didn't think they were going to boo me converting a 3rd and 1 or a 4th and 1, so I caught on pretty quick.
All right, that was a dumb follow-up question. I apologize for that. We'll get to the next question here. This is from Dennis in Appleton. It's kind of long-winded, so I'm going to cut it down a little bit, but he wants to know, in the contracts with Ryan Grant's situation, you're getting injured, what happens with injuries? Are there injury stipulations? Do you lose pay if you get hurt? I mean, that sort of thing. Can you talk about that? Or, I mean, go into a little bit about injury clauses in contracts.
Yeah, I'm not too familiar with how that works, but I'm pretty sure if you get put on IR, you get paid your year's salary is what you're supposed to get paid. So, I think it's different than if guys get hurt in the preseason. You obviously can't cut those players. You have to work out a settlement. They don't get paid their full season. But in Ryan's case, he'll get his full paycheck for the year.
All right. Well, we got one more question here. This one is coming from Jason in Kaukauna. Wants to know the best practical joke played on a Packer so far this year.
I liked we were playing a preseason game, and one of our linemen taped Matt Flynn's door shut so that he couldn't even open it in the hotel. So he was trapped in his hotel room. I thought that was pretty good.
Said one of the linemen, are you going to share? Because TJ had an interesting look when he looked over at you and that question was asked.
Training camp, and when we stay in the dorms, is always notorious for guys, messing with each other. And there's some guys throwing water balloons one night, and I'm not going to say any names, but somebody took a fire extinguisher and put it through somebody's air conditioner in their room and clouded their whole room up. But that was pretty funny seeing the reaction on those guys' face. But
so do they have chaperones for you guys when you're in the dorms? Because
we probably should have them.
Get an RA in there or something.
All right. We got more coming up in the next segment. That's our Granite Peak Ski Area email question segment. We'll draw our winner for the Granite Peak Ski Package during the break and announce the winner when we return. Back with more in the huddle from the fifth quarter after this on the Woodward Radio Network.